Hello, my most amazing artist. I hope you are having a great day today. Today we're starting a brand new project, and this project is inspired by the artist Pierre Mondrian. In Mondrian's work, he used a lot of horizontal lines. Those are lines that go from side to side. He used a lot of vertical lines as well, and vertical lines go up and down. Today, we are going to be using horizontal lines and vertical lines to create an abstract painting. To do this today, we are going to be using some black washable paints. And I just have this on a paper plate because it makes it very easy to use. I have a piece of paper and it is going horizontally. It's going from side to side. If my paper was flipped this way, then it would be vertical, up and down. We want to rotate our paper so that it is horizontal. I also have a little piece of cereal box that I cut out in the shape of a rectangle. We're going to be doing something called printmaking today, or stamping. And we can stamp with this long edge of our piece of cereal box, or we could stamp with the short edge, or maybe you want to do both. Since we're using paint, of course, we have a messy mat under our work. And that is everything you're going to need today to get started on your artwork inspired by Pierre Mondrian. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my cereal box and I'm going to start dipping it in my paint. We do not need a lot of paint. Just a little bit will do. And I'm jumping up and down in this paint, and I only want paint right on the edge. We do not want to get paint on this part of our cereal box because that's where my fingers are holding it. And I do not want to get paint all over my fingers. So make sure you try to keep your paint only on the edge of your cereal box. And remember, we don't need a lot of paint, so this is enough for me to start printing my lines. And when we print, we just press it down and then pull it up. And there is one line done. This line is going up and down, so it is a vertical line. Good job. I think I need a little bit more paint, so I'm just going to jump up and down. But do we need a lot of paint? No, we don't need a lot of paint. And I'm going to start jumping around on my paper. Okay, these are short vertical lines. If you want a long line, then you can use the long side of your cereal box. So I'm gonna flip it and I'm gonna use this longer edge now, and I'm gonna dip it in my paint. We do not need a lot of paint though, and I'm keeping my paint only on the edge of my cereal box. Do you want paint on the middle of your cereal box? No, because that's where we're going to be holding it, and we don't want to get paint all over our hands. But I have paint on the long side now, and I think I want to print a horizontal line. So I'm going to print it going from side to side. And there is a horizontal line. I printed this horizontal line on top of one of my vertical lines, and you can do that too if you want to. I think I want this line to be even longer, so I'm going to print another horizontal line right next to it, and that makes a very long horizontal line. Let's do some long vertical lines. I think I need a little bit more paint, but not a lot, and I'm going to do a vertical line anywhere I want to on my paper, and I want this line to be a little bit longer, so I'm going to print another horizontal line right next to it. And now I have a very long vertical line, a line that goes up and down. Whenever we are doing this, we are not drawing with our cereal box. That means you're not dragging it across your paper, because then we would be painting. And we're not painting today. We are doing something called printmaking, which means we are just stamping this on our paper. We are just pressing down and pulling up. And you can put your lines on top of one another if you want to. In fact, Pierre Mondrian overlapped his lines a lot. That means he put lines on top of other lines. And you can do that too. While I'm printing my lines, I'm noticing some shapes starting to appear. Right here, I've made a rectangle with my lines. You should make some rectangles and squares with your lines as well while you're printing today. I'm just going back and forth between my horizontal lines and my vertical lines, and look, I made another rectangle, and look, I made a square right there. As you're printing today with your horizontal lines and your vertical lines, you will start to see some shapes appear, because look, there's another rectangle. These shapes are starting to show up because my lines are going on top of one another. We want to do this quite a few times because we want to fill up our paper with these lines. However, we don't want too many lines because next week we're going to be adding some colors to this. And if we have too many lines, then it will be a little bit hard to add our color. But I'm thinking about where I want to put this before I stamp it down. So I'm not just dipping and stamping randomly. I'm dipping and then I'm thinking and looking at my picture, and I'm deciding where I want my next line to go. Do you think it's a good idea to put your fingers in this paint? No, look, I don't have any paint. Oh, I have a little bit right there. That's the amount of paint you should have on your hands, only a little bit, and it should be an accident. Art can be messy sometimes because we're using wet paint, and that's okay if you get a little bit of paint on your fingers. What's not okay is if we get paint on our fingers on purpose. We do not want to make a mess on purpose because that shows Miss M that you are not ready for paint. All right, I think I'm almost done here because most of my paper is almost filled up with horizontal lines and vertical lines. But I'm just going to add a few more here and there to fill up my paper a little bit more. If you are printing today and you think you're done, then you need to raise your hand and wait for an adult to come help you. We can tell you if you need more lines or if you're done. And I think I am done because most of my paper is filled with my horizontal lines, my lines that go from side to side, and vertical lines, lines that go up and down. And as I'm looking at my picture, I can start to see some rectangles and squares. On your picture, you should also be seeing some rectangles and squares as well. I hope you guys have had a lot of fun learning about PA Mondrian so far, and I hope you had a lot of fun printing your picture. I'm really excited about next week because we're going to get to add some color to it, and it's really going to bring our beautiful artwork to life. I can't wait to see how your PA Mondrian paintings are starting to turn out. I know they're going to be amazing because you guys are amazing. All right, I'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys.